What if I told you that slavery still exists? Human trafficking is believed to be the third largest criminal activity in the world and is regarded as one of the most pressing human rights issues of our time.
It includes forced labor, domestic servitude, and commercial sex trafficking. Force, fraud, or coercion are used to control victims for the purpose of engaging in commercial sex acts or labor against their will.
I can share with you my story and how I was able to recover. And it wasn't an easy process. So when I was 15, I was exploited. So I was in the foster care system, and I found myself hooked up with a pimp and exploited through that. And then I got my way back into the foster care system, went back to high school, I graduated. I ended up having a baby after my senior year, and really not addressing that I was exploited.
Anyone is at risk for being trafficked, but usually women, who make up 98% of the overall persons trafficked, are at a higher risk compared to men, who only make up the remaining 2%. Children as well as teens are very vulnerable, which makes them even more subjective to human trafficking.
Our whole community is impacted by this. This is a social injustice for all human beings. It's not rich people, it's not poor people, it goes across every demographic.
Human trafficking takes place in every country of the world. Thailand and Bangladesh are among several countries with the highest rates of human trafficking. Locally, victims are brought in from Asia into Hawaii, with women being the most commonly trafficked.
Each year, about 17,500 individuals are brought into the United States and held against their will as victims of human trafficking.
The vast majority of victims in Oahu are local men, women, and children of Hawaii.
Hawaii just recently imposed a sex trafficking ban bill in 2016, which makes it a crime. And so before that, it wasn't a crime to sell a child.
Victims of trafficking often experience harsh physical impacts due to excessive work or forced by traffickers, and may be exposed to serious health risks, such as HIV, as well as serious mental health risks. Former trafficked persons have developed high levels of PTSD, as well as anxiety, insecurity, fear, and trauma. They may also experience social ostracism because they are often isolated from their social circles, which leaves victims unable to engage socially or reach out for help. The contributing factors to this problem are that it is a market-driven criminal industry that is based on principles of supply and demand. It is also provoked by demand for cheap labor, services, and commercial sex. When people are willing to buy commercial sex, they create a demand for it and make it beneficial for traffickers to sexually exploit children and adults. Traffickers believe there is little risk in their actions, think that the high profit is worth the risk of detection, lack of government and law enforcement training, low community awareness, ineffective or unused laws, lack of law enforcement investigation, little resources for victim recovery services, and victims being blamed for their own situation by society.
If they're aware of what's out there, if they're aware that it isn't glamorous, it isn't all what it's cracked up to be on TV, sometimes it seems like it's acceptable, it's really dangerous.
The United Nations has a global initiative to fight human trafficking. Ho'olanapua is a local organization in Hawaii that focuses on creating a shelter and safe haven for trafficked girls. These are just a couple of the many organizations that are trying to solve the problem of human trafficking.
The mission of Ho'olanapua is the renewal of trafficked girls through health, education, advocacy, and reintegration. What our mission is to do is to find a place that these girls would find a place to be able to heal and to be able to have a good life. That is a big part of the recovery process. A lot of times people will say, well, what's your favorite color? To one of these girls, and they don't know what their favorite color is because they haven't made a choice in a very long time for themselves. Yeah, so giving them back their identity is key to their recovery. They're not going to self-identify and say that this is what's happening to me, but always befriending and being open and caring and being a safe friend is what we would want their peers to be.
To get help, report a tip, or request services, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888.